Good day and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education based Indiana High School Athletic Association Varsity Boys Baseball game. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO. That's Rob Kendall. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, weekday mornings, 9 to noon on 93.1 FM. Or online, go to WIBC.com. Today's game features the Central Catholic Knights. They travel to Rensselaer Central. Going to go against the Bombers today. It's a beautiful day. What the sun is shining, the grass is chlorophylled. It is a beautiful day for baseball. They're talking maybe a little bit different the rest of the week. We'll see. I'm from Arcadia. That's down a ways, about 60 miles, about 100 miles from here to the south. They say the rain's going to hit tomorrow where I'm at, but I saw the forecast, and it looked like it's not going to hit up here in the Lafayette area. So the second game of this two-game set with Rensselaer and Central Catholic might actually take place tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled. What both teams taken infield outfield. We'll mention the home team, Rensselaer Central, have already taken their infield outfield practice. Central Catholic finishing up their own. Both these teams, they are in the West Division of the Hoosier Conference. So they will play two games. They'll have to play two. Even if they get a rain out, they'll have to make it up. And I will mention a little bit about Rensselaer Central Bombers. The Bombers are currently 4-6 on the season. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Rensselaer Central Bombers, they started out the season with 3 consecutive wins. That was on April 8th, 10th, and 11th. They got a win at Faith Christian. That was 11-2. They got a win at North Judson. That North Judson game was here at Rensselaer Central. That was an 11-0 contest. And then they defeated Benton Central at Benton Central, 7-5 in 9 innings. And then the next day they turned around and Benton Central got the win over them, 4-2. And then at Rensselaer Central, again on the 14th of April, North Newton was here. North Newton fell to Rensselaer Central 9-3. And next week, the Bombers are going to start with West Lafayette. That'll be 2 games from the West Division. That'll start out on Monday, the 5th of May. And then on Tuesday, the 6th of May, the home game will be the first one on the 5th. I take that back. It will be home. Yes, it'll be home with the Red Devils of West Lafayette. And then on Tuesday, it'll be at West Lafayette. And that's how they'll start out next week. We'll talk about the Central Catholic Knights. They're currently 8-3 on the season. They have 4 games scheduled this week. That's tonight, Central Catholic at Rensselaer Central, 5:30 start time. That's Eastern time. It's 4:30 right here, right now. And then tomorrow, the 29th, 6 o'clock start at Central Catholic, same 2 teams. And then later on this week, they'll take Wednesday off. And then they'll have a 6 o'clock game on Thursday, May the 1st. It'll be the Harrison Raiders at Central Catholic. And then on Friday, 6 o'clock, on the 2nd of May, it'll be the Rossville Hornets at Central Catholic. We'll mention the Knights currently 8 wins, 3 losses on the season. Their wins came against Indianapolis Bishop Chatard, first game of the season. That was 9-3. And then they split with Twin Lakes in the West Division. They split a 6-3 win and then a 5-3 loss the next day. And then at Lebanon, it was a 9-1 win for the Knights. And then Cecina home game, 13-3 on a Saturday. And then Benton Central, 2 games. The first game was at Central Catholic. That was a 12-2 decision. And then a 14-4 decision with Benton Central on their second game. And then Riverton Park, that was a good game. It was 4-3. Pretty good travel from Riverton Park to Lafayette. And then we'll mention on the 22nd, 23rd, West Lafayette and Lafayette Jeff went at it. And Lafayette Jeff got the win last Friday, 9-2. And we'll go ahead and mention West Lafayette, the doubleheader, I should say. They played one game on the 22nd, one on the 23rd. They split. We'll mention in 8 innings, West Lafayette got them 14-9 at Central Catholic. The next day, they turned around and Central Catholic got the win at West Lafayette 12-1. So that's how they are right now. Both teams are having meetings right there. Umpires are at home plate, getting ready for baseball on a Monday. We got some girls over there. They're keeping the components. They're keeping the scoreboard. They're probably going to do some announcing. And who's going to do the announcing? Maddie. We got Maddie over there. She's a senior. She's going to Purdue. She's going to study animal science. That's going to be good. And then Sierra, I mentioned I have a daughter named Sierra. She's a sophomore. And Hayden, the other sophomore. You girls going to talk with me about the 4th, 5th inning? Is that okay? All right, we'll talk then. So they're going to keep the components. I know last year we had the guys up here keeping the components. We had some guys that were injured on the team for Rensselaer Central. One of them has already spoken to me today because he remembered he's going to play first base today. That's Dalton Lynch. Dalton Lynch wears number 13. And we'll talk about him when he's at the plate. So they're getting ready to take the field here momentarily. The Knights are in a huddle. Central Catholic in a huddle. And I will also mention, got to talk to football coach Chris Meeks. Chris Meeks, I tell you what, he's a good one. He graduated from Rensselaer Central in 1984. He went to school at Rensselaer Central, and he's been coaching the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Don't quote me, but 25 plus years. But he's a good guy, and he tells me he's going to have a knee surgery tomorrow about 10:30, so he can't eat after midnight. And he's going to have it done by Forte. That's Dr. Condit. I told Chris Meeks that my wife had a knee replacement from Dr. Condit. And they're going to work on his knee tomorrow. They're going to put him under. They're going to make it much, much better. So pray for Coach Chris Meeks. What a gentleman. So they're having a coaches meeting right there at home plate. The wind is blowing. The wind is going from right field to left field. Across the diamond, it's switched up. It was coming in from left field earlier, but they're talking about it right now on the surface. Coaches, umpires, couple of umpires. It's 4:39 on my wristwatch. It's an AT&T wristwatch. It subtracts time. It goes to the right zone. A year ago, if I didn't have Robbie Kendall, the guy that provides the internet for me, I'd have missed the ball game because I was at Pizza Hut. I got some food, ate it, and I was doing some paperwork for my sign company. And I started over here. I thought I was an hour early. And then Robbie calls me. He says, "Are you doing the game today?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's 5:20. I said, "Oh, no." So I know when you're doing a ball game, you got to make out lineups. You got to make a lineup out for the batting order. And then you also got to make a geographical lineup for where the guys are playing in the field. And if you don't have both of those, it is very, very difficult to do a ball game, especially baseball. So I had to work on that last year while the game was going on, but right now I'm ready to go. Coach Courtney sent me his lineup. That was very kind. I get the lineup from Central Catholic once in a while, too, when I request it. If we're running a little bit late, that makes it easier for the public address and makes it easier for Put Me in Sports. So Coach Courtney, Coach Bourdonnais, they shake hands with the umpires. Knights are going to bat first. Knights going to bat first. They are the visiting team on the scoreboard. We'll mention a little bit about the Knights. We'll mention Central Catholic Knights. Their school was founded in 1956. They have a school enrollment of 302. They're Class 2A, Sectional 37, along with Rensselaer Central. 7 in that sectional. The sectional will happen at Lafayette Central Catholic High School. In their sectional is Benton Central Bison, Delphi Oracles, Central Catholic Knights, North Montgomery Chargers, Rensselaer Central Bombers, Seeger Patriots, Western Boone Stars. The principal at Central Catholic is Darrell Beck. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. The assistant athletic director is Charlie Roberts. The athletic trainer is Sarah Igo. Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. You can reach them by phone at 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletics.com. Over the collars, navy blue and white. They're going with gray uniforms today, navy blue numerals and stirrups. And they perform in the Hoosier Conference along with Rensselaer Central. Hoosier Conference, Rensselaer Central, Central Catholic. They're both in the West Division. In the conference is Benton Central, Central Catholic, Hamilton Heights, Logansport, Rensselaer Central, Tipton, Twin Lakes, West Lafayette, Western. We're going to set this down for our national anthem. That was our national anthem. Instrumental, sounded marvelous. And I will also mention the coach for Central Catholic High School is Tim Bourdonnais. Tim Bourdonnais is a 1987 graduate from Central Catholic. And I will mention his assistant coaches are number 21, A.J. Bourdonnais, number 22, Kevin Donahoe, number 26, Fred Rogers, number 31, Will Isom, number 43, David Sterrett, number 44, John Anthrop, number 39, James Smith. So the Knights are going to bat here in the top of the first inning. Getting some warm-up tosses there for Rensselaer Central. Doing the pitching today is Brady Martin. Brady Martin wears number 8. His battery partner, his catcher. There's number 2. That's Jackson Jones. At first base, gentleman, he's a friend of mine. He was in the booth here last year, first baseman. Number 13, Dalton Lynch. At second base, number 7, Dawson Kane. At shortstop, number 9, Caden Webb. At third base, number 10, Brayson Johns. In left field, number 1, Dylan Simmons. In center field, number 0, Kaysen Shanley. Kaysen Shanley going to play defensively for the DH. The DH will be number 22, Ryan Kellner. And in right field, number 23, Landon Mush. So they're getting some final warm-up tosses. Nice for them out of the dugout, getting warmed up, getting loose with their bats. And baseball on a Monday. Usually these conference games, they happen on Tuesday or Wednesday. But this was going to be a Monday, Tuesday. And next week's also going to be a Monday, Tuesday for the Knights. So they get final warm-up tosses. First base coach is number 21, A.J. Bourdonnais. His dad across the way, third base coach, Tim Bourdonnais. They're going to throw one down to second base. Toss it down right there. From the catcher, Jackson Jones, frozen rope. To shortstop, Caden Webb. First batter in the lineup for the Knights. Going to be number 9, Hudson Gutwine. Hudson Gutwine wears number 9. He's going to play second base for the Knights. Right-handed batter. Hudson Gutwine, pretty good average. She's batting .370. First pitch on the way, fouled back, out of play. Brady Martin, 5:46 p.m. That's Eastern time, 4:46 right here where we're sitting. And AT&T bringing this game to you. And here comes the second pitch, outside of ball. He's bringing it pretty good, Brady Martin. Pretty good fastball. We're from the windup, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. A right-handed pitcher. Pitch comes in. He's going to take it to left center. Going to get a lot of it. It's going to float out of here. Home run, left center field, just right side of the scoreboard. And the Knights have their first home run of the season. And Hudson Gutwine going to slow down his trot. Going to enjoy this trot. He'll come in and touch home plates. They won't congratulate him until he does. And Jackson Kane, the first to congratulate him. Jackson Kane got a home run here last year. It's a little bit further to the right of where Hudson's just went out. So 1 run in, set to bat for the Knights. 2-hitter, number 12, Alex Schumer. Schumer going to play right field. Working out of the windup. Here comes the pitch to Schumer. High and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Early going. Working the windup. Here's the pitch. Right down meridian. Thigh high, strike called. Brady Martin. Brady Martin peering in. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Only 1 run. Stepping back in. Out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. My bad. You count the pitches, are you? Sorry about that. My bad. Okay. Working from the windup. Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Schumer. Outside of ball. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Working from the windup. Here comes the payoff pitch to Schumer. Going to foul 1 left side, out of play. So we'll take a 3-2 count once again. Alex Schumer will step back in, left-handed batter. Working from the windup, here comes the 3-2 again. Swing a miss. Foul tip in the glove, so he'll strike out swinging. Jackson Jones holds the foul tip. There's 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. 3-hitter, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Gerke, another left-handed batter for the Knights. Working from the windup and the pitch from Brady Martin. He'll take it the other way. Going to get to left field. Going to go over the head of the left fielder. And it's going to go out of here also. He'll go the other way with it. Opposite field home run for Lucas Gerke. And he'll take a little bit more of a quicker trot around the bases. I will mention the dimensions here at Rennselaer Central. Down the left field line and the right field line is 300 feet. Straight away to center field, it's 360. At Central Catholic, straight away, it's 365. So the Knights have 2 runs in here in the top of the first. Set to bat, going to be the 4-hitter. Number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Right-handed batter facing the righty, Brady Martin. Pitch comes in outside of ball. Count goes 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 4-hitter, Mikey Stapleton. Working from the windup. Here comes the pitch. He'll pop 1 up. Right side might be playable. First baseman giving it a look. Pitcher giving it a look. Catcher Jackson Jones had to reach back and hit the surface, a foul ball. That wind is swirling. It was probably about like a a Wrigley Field type of baseball. So Mikey Stapleton has new life in the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Martin. Outside a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Martin is bringing it. He's bringing the fastball, I would guess 80 mile an hour. Peering in, here comes a wind and the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Left of third base. Fielded by Coach Bourdonnais. Coach Bourdonnais, as you know, played at Purdue. He played second base there. But at Central Catholic, he played shortstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Martin. Outside a ball. Count goes full. 3-2 count. 4-hitter. Mikey Stapleton. Peering in, looking at signals. Here comes the wind and the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, going to fly it. Major league fly ball on the infield. Called for by Brayson Johns, but it's going to be caught by the shortstop, Caden Webb. Knights have 2 out here in the top of the first. So the next batter going to step in for the Knights is going to be the 5-hitter, number 3, Jackson Kane. Jackson Kane, the designated hitter. He was playing catcher on the infield outfield, so that's a good sign. Jackson Kane nursing back from a football injury. He had surgery right after the season. Pitch comes in. He'll take it to the left center. He got a lot of it, and he might have. It's going to go out of here. Pretty much the same spot he hit it out of here last year. So the Knights have 3 home runs here in the top of the first inning. Wine, Gerke, and now Kane. So Jackson Kane going to round the bases. He's going to trot, get a medium 5 from Coach Bourdonnais, and he'll touch home plate. And with 2 outs, Knights still batting here in the top of the first inning. 3 runs on the board. They're all 3 solo shots by the Knights. Next batter going to step in, the 6-hitter for the Knights, number 33, DJ Gilkey. DJ Gilkey batting .267 on the season. Here comes the pitch to the left. He's going to check his swing. Going to go to third base, and it's going to be caught. Brayson Johns makes an easy catch on a check swing from Gilkey, and the Knights are out of the inning. Knights come up with 3 runs in the top of the first inning. And we'll mention Rensselaer Central Bombers are going to bat in the bottom half of the first. Knights going to go out and play defensively. Knights in the bottom half of the first inning. They're going to send out to do the pitching. Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke wears number 14. Jonah Gerke on the season has 7 innings under his belt. Jonah Gerke this is appearance number 3. This is also game start number 3. He's faced 31 batters. He has thrown 138 pitches. His win-loss record is 2 wins, no losses. He's given up 2 hits. He's given up 3 runs. 2 of those runs were earned. He has walked 7 batters, and he has struck out 6. And 3 of those 6 strikeouts went down looking, and he's hit 2 batters along the way. So the Knights getting warmed up. Jonah Gerke, his catcher in today's ball game, is going to be number 24, Ben Weeks. Ben Weeks is going to play defensively for the Knights. He wears number 24. He's the catcher, and Jackson Kane is the DH batting for Ben Weeks in the ball game. At first base for the Knights is number 10, Lucas Gerke. At second base, number 9, Hudson Gutwine. At shortstop, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. At third base, number 33, DJ Gilkey. In left field, number 5, Colton Minnick. In center field, number 25, Vince Kalenko. And in right field, number 12, Alex Schumer. So getting some final warm-up tosses. Jonah Gerke working that breaking pitch. 4 guys getting ready to bat for Rensselaer Central. First 4 in the lineup for Rensselaer Central are going to be number 23, Landon Mush. Landon Mush, he'll bat first. He's the right fielder. Batting second will be number 7, Dawson Kane. He's the second baseman. Batting third, number 10, Brayson Johns. He made that final catch, final out of the top of the first. He's at third base. And batting fourth spot, number 22, Ryan Kellner. Ryan Kellner is the DH. He's batting in place of defensive player, Cason Shanley. Cason Shanley wears number 0. He's in center field. So stepping into bat, Rensselaer Central going to go with the white uniforms. They've got gray numerals outlined in red. They're kind of difficult to differentiate, especially from the outfielders. First pitch from Gerke. Outside edge, strike called. Fastball, count goes 0-1 to Mush. Right-handed batter, bit of an open stance. Here comes a pitch from the righty, Jonah Gerke. Breaking pitch, going to be a base hit. Between third base and shortstop on the ground. Goes into left field, picked up by Colton Minnick. Second pitch of the ball game for the Rensselaer Central Bombers, and Landon Mush is aboard with a base hit. Next batter going to step in for the Bombers. It's going to be the 2-hitter, number 7, Dawson Kane. Plays second base for the Bombers. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Jonah Gerke, here's the pitch. Outside edge, strike called, fastball. Count goes 0-1 to Dawson Kane. Working out a stretch, looks at first base, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, going to pop one up. Going to go behind the catcher. They're going to look for it. Weeks is going to make a catch. Behind home plate. That ball was floating. He reaches up, and there's one out here in the bottom of the first inning. So next batter going to step in, the 3-hitter. Where's number 10? Brayson Johns. He plays third base. He's a left-handed batter. Pretty much straightaway stance for Johns, 3-hitter. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Now out of the set, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, check swing, it go to shortstop. Mikey Stapleton will go to second base. They'll go to first. They won't get him at first. They'll go 6-4 and try to go to 3. And Hudson Gutwein was wondering if there was a little bit of interference there on the run, but there's no call. So they'll get the out at second base. There's 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Fielder's choice. Brayson Johns is safe at first base. So Coach Bourdonnais out there talking with the infield umpire, wondering if there was any type of interference on the opportunity to throw. I know they have a slide rule. Slide rule, if you're going to turn a double play, the runner that's going into second base either has to slide or peel off. When I say peel off, that means they get out of the way, going towards the outfield side, allowing the throw to be made. So it's probably similar to what Coach Bourdonnais is asking about. Was there a peel rule? And he's going to walk off, and there's conversation by the umpires. So they get the out at second base. If there's no slide or no peel, they would have had to double play, even if the double play was not made. So everything's good. There's 2 out. Runner at first base, fielder's choice. Brayson Johns at first base. He's the runner. Stepping in, 4-hitter, number 22, Ryan Kellner. Kellner is the DH. Working out a stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll foul it back out of play. He'll go right side. So Ryan Kellner right on time. Pretty good stroke right there. Wind's blowing a crosswind. Kind of blowing in now from left field. Peering in, looking at signals. Jonah Gerke. Modest lead there at first base is Brayson Johns. He'll look at first, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Just misses. Crosses the zone high. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Now looks at first base, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch from Jonah Gerke. Going to be a shot to third base off the glove of Gilkey. It was a shot. Couldn't hold it. It's going to be a base hit. Off the bat of four-hitter Ryan Kellner. So they have two aboard with two out. Rensselaer Central Bombers batting in the bottom of the first inning. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be the five-hitter, number 8, Brady Martin. Brady Martin, right-handed batter, does the pitching for Central. For Rensselaer Central. Alva Sad looks at second base. First pitch to Martin. Above the zone, ball 1. Breaking pitch just missing above the zone. That strike is gauged at the front edge of the plate. Peering in, looking at signals. Alva Sad, he'll look at second base. Look again. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. You're going to take a shot to left field. Going to back up the left fielder, Colton Minnick. They'll make the catch just in front of the warning track, and there are 3 out. So Brady Martin takes one deep, put a little air under it. Had that air been a little bit less, he might have been jogging. And the Knights are going to bat in the top of the second inning after 1 complete. Central Catholic, 3. Rensselaer Central, nothing. And we'll mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. Honey Creek Resort, what a beautiful place to be. Plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort, with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun, and recreation adventures, are only a 1-day's drive away. Honey Creek Resort in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an amazing lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much, much more. Truly amazing adventures and hospitality await you at honeycreekresort.com. That's honeycreekresort.com. Make your group, business, and family getaway reservations today. You can call them at 641-724-1450. Again, their number is 641-724-1450, or go online to honeycreekresort.com. So you're going to throw one down to second base from the catcher, Jackson Jones. Listen to some AC/DC right there. They're playing the rock and roll music. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 14, Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke, he bats in the 7th spot. He's doing the pitching in today's ball game. He's going to face the righty. Jonah is a left-handed batter. Here's the pitch. He tries to check his swing and call it a strike at home plate. So no balls, 1 strike. Jonah Gerke, a bit of an open stance, not much. Here comes a pitch from Martin. High and away. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefty batter, righty pitcher. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. High above the zone, ball 2. Ball 2. Jonah Gerke on deck is number 5, Colton Minnick. Here comes the wind and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the windup, here comes a 2-2 pitch from Martin. Inside and tight, ball 3. 3-2 count to Jonah Gerke. Pitcher facing the pitcher. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he'll strike him out. You go down swinging. There's 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick playing left field in today's ball game for the Knights. So I'm going to change a baseball there. Request from Brady Martin. He'll never be denied. The only time you'd be denied is in a wet baseball game, if it was about the same caliber of a wet ball. Here comes a wind and the pitch to Minnick. High and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. On deck for the Knights is 25, Vince Telenko. Here comes the pitch to Minnick. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Colton Minnick, he's an athlete and a half. He plays football also. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. 2 balls, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2-2. Colton Minnick on the season, he's got 2 hits. He's got a single and a double. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Martin. High and away, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Minnick on the season has walked 3 times. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll jog back to the dugout, and there are 2 out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. Number 25, Vince Talenko. Talenko, a right-handed batter. Right-handed batter facing the righty, Brady Martin. Here's the pitch. Strike called, top of the zone. Right down meridian. Count goes 0-1. Hudson Gutwein is on deck. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 2nd inning, 2 out. Here comes the pitch. He'll take it back. He'll go over second base. He's going to get the gap. He's going to go the warning track in the right center field. Picked up there by Landon Mush. It's going to be a 2-base hit off the bat of Vince Talenko. Talenko gets himself aboard with a double. Vince Talenko on the season. He picks up double number 1 on the season. So next batter going to step in. Hudson Gutwein in his first at bat, he led the game off. 2nd pitch, home run, left center field. We're going to have a set. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Vince Talenko at second base. There are 2 out. 1 ball, no strikes. Hudson Gutwein, right-handed batter. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, a ball high. Count goes 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Hudson Gutwein looking for a good pitch. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Low for ball 3. Good short hop stop by Jackson Jones, the catcher. 3 balls, no strikes. We'll see if Coach Bourdonnais is giving him the green light. Out of the set, here's the pitch. Low for ball 4. So Hudson Gutwein will remove the apparatus and he'll jog to first base. Runners at first and second base for the Knights. Next batter going to step in, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, 2-batter, 2-hitter, I should say, for the Knights. Bats left. 2 aboard, first and second. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Brady Martin. Going to be a pickoff move. He'll pirouette and go clockwise and not make a throw to second base. Working from a stretch. Now the set. Brady Martin. Here comes first pitch to Schumer. A foul ball back to the screen. Alex Schumer unloaded on that one. He's entitled to his own pitch. That's the first strike. That's his. Step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Brady Martin. Out of the set, he'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. He's going to pitch it behind Schumer. That gives back to the backstop off the glove of Jackson Jones. And Knights runners move up 90 feet as the ball gets to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike to Alex Schumer. Left-handed batter. Alex Schumer, he's batting .303 in 11 games. Knights are 8-3 on the season. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a ground ball, second base. Room service hop right there for Dawson Kane. And he'll get the put out with Dalton Lynch. So Dalton Lynch gets the put out. Knights are out of the inning. Knights leave 2 aboard. And Knights get a base hit in the inning. It's actually a double. And the Knights are going to play defensively in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So at the end of 1 1/2, Knights 3, Bombers 0. Bombers going to come to the plates. We'll talk a little bit about the Rensselaer Central Bombers. The Bombers, they have a school enrollment of 447. As mentioned, they're 4-6 on the season. They are also in sectional 37, that's class 2A. And yes, that'll be played at Central Catholic High School. We mentioned there are 7 teams. Again, we'll mention alphabetically, they are Benton Central, Delphi, Central Catholic, North Montgomery, Rensselaer Central, Seeger, Western Boone. The principal at Rensselaer Central High School is A.J. Jones, the athletic director. He's most instrumental for putting me in sports, always thankful for Mr. Kenneth Hickman. Rensselaer Central High School is located at 1106 East Grace Street, Rensselaer, Indiana, 47978. You can reach them by phone by dialing 219-866-5175. On the web, it's RensselaerCentral.com. They wear the collars red and black. They do perform in the Hoosier Conference. They are also in the West Division. Head coach for the Rensselaer Central Bombers baseball team is Mr. Jared Courtney. Very kind gentleman shared with me today. I appreciate him. So they're going to step in. They're going to put the ball in the glove of Jonah Gerke. Set to step in. Rensselaer Central, number 8, Brady Martin. Here comes the wind and the pitch. High and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-handed batter facing the righty, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Foul ball, left side. Going to be picked up there by the on-deck batter. On-deck batter. Right there. And they'll step back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. It'll take one the other way. That's actually number 9, Caden Webb, batting. And the ball's going to land in the glove of right fielder Alex Schumer for the first out. So next batter going to step in, 7-hitter, number 2, Jackson Jones. Jackson Jones is the catcher. And Ben Weeks having a little bit of a conversation there with the other catcher, Jackson Jones. So Jones steps in, right-handed batter facing the righty, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Peering in, looking at signals over the glove. Here comes a wind from Gerke. Outside a ball. Just off the surface, misses the plate. Count goes 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes a pitch to Jones. A short off the glove of Weeks. Ball 3. So Jackson Jones has a 3-0 count. We'll see if he has a green light from Coach Courtney. Here comes the wind into pitch. Inside edge, strike called. 3 balls, 1 strike. Step back in. Here comes the wind, the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes full at 3-2. Jackson Jones steps back in, taps the away part of the plate. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Jones going to jog to first base. We'll see if he'll do his own base running. And I think Coach Courtney, we'll see what he'll do here. But stepping to the plate right now is going to be the 8-hitter, number 13, Dalton Lynch. As mentioned, Dalton Lynch was upstairs with me last year. He was a bit injured. He was doing the components last year. He remembered me when he walked up and saw me. That was nice. Right-handed batter, Dalton Lynch. He's playing first base. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Dalton Lynch has those red, white shoes with a black stripe, just like Michael Jordan wore on the basketball court until they made him quit. I don't know why. Swung on ground ball, third base. Going to be gloved there by Gilkey. His throw to second is off target. Gutwein couldn't handle it. They'll throw it the other way, and safe at third base. Right there is Jackson Jones. So it's going to be a fielder's choice, but they get nobody out on the fielder's choice. One out still here in the bottom of the second inning. Runners at first and third base for the Bombers. Stepping in. 9-hitter number 1, Dylan Simmons. He's playing left field for the Bombers. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. He's going to square the bunt. He pulls the bat back. It's a ball. Weeks throws it to shortstop area. It's off target. It's picked up there by Mikey Stapleton in the lip of the grass back behind the dirt. So they take a base on the play. Dalton Lynch is at second base. Jackson Jones is at third base. 1 ball, no strikes. Dylan Simmons batting. He's the 9-hitter. Here comes the pitch. He's going to take a shot, foul ball down the left field line. They'll let it go. It'll go into the bullpen area. They'll track that down from the dugout. And stepping back in with a 1-1 count is Dylan Simmons. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch, Jonah Gerke. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Going to call it a strike, outside edge. Dylan Simmons probably didn't like that call, and he's probably correct. Count goes 1-2. Out of set, Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Shortstop Mikey Stapleton backhands it. Strong arm across the diamond. Couldn't get it on the stretch. Couldn't control the baseball. Gets by Gerke. And 2 runs come in to score for the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Jackson Jones and Dalton Lynch. So it's going to be a 2 RBI. I believe it's probably going to be going in the book as a single infield hit. Stepping into bat, the 1-hitter, 23, Landon Mush. And a Mush right-handed batter. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out. Going to talk with his infield. And while he does, we'll mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by AGM Auto LLC. At AGM Auto, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status of each of the AGM technicians. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works toward the recovery and the restoration of many of the now beautiful cars and trucks. For showroom treasures, you can reach them by phone at 317-984-5283. Again, 317-984-5283. Stepping back in, Landon Mush. Out of stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. He'll square the bunt. They pull the bat back. It's a called strike. Sliding in safe at second base is Dylan Simmons. So mission accomplished without a bunt. 1-hitter, number 23, Landon Mush. Runner at second base, Dylan Simmons in scoring position. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Pitch comes in, outside edge, strike called. So 2 called strikes. 1-hitter, Landon Mush, he'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Out of the set, Jonah Gerke. He'll check second base. Check it again. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Going to pop one up. Is it going to be playable? Back behind the catcher's position, and Weeks gives a good effort, but the wind is whirling, and it's going to drop a foul ball right there close to the Bombers' dugout. So he'll stay in the batter's box. Landon Mush, 0-2 count. 0-2 count. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Jonah Gerke, out of the set position. Check second base. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base. Off the glove of Gilkey, goes into left field. Picked up by Minnick. Colton Minnick throws it back in. Hits the cutoff. Mikey Stapleton. So the Bombers have runners at first and third base. With one out, set to bat, the two-hitter, number 7, Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane plays second base for Coach Courtney. Right-handed batter, facing the righty, Jonah Gerke. Runners at first and third base, one out. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch, taking off for second base. No throw to second. Landon Mush safe at second. Runners at second and third base with one out. Bombers batting in the bottom of the second inning. It's 2 runs in for the Bombers here in the second. It's a 3-2 ball game. Knights in front. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Third base side. It's going to be a fair ball picked up there by Gilkey. Gilkey didn't have a throw to make by the time he tracked it down. That was a high off the surface ground ball. And Gerke met it about 40 feet from home plate, but didn't have a throw. So the bases are now loaded. One out. Stepping in, number 10, 3-hitter, Brayson Johns. Johns plays third base. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, high and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Left-handed batter, 3-hitter. Number 10, Brayson Johns. Third baseman, out of the set, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Left-handed batter, Brayson Johns. Out of the set, Jonah Gerke. Here comes the pitch. He's going to take a drive to left to right field. Got a lot of it, and it's going to go out of here, a grand slam. Left-handed batter took it down the right field line. 300 feet is the dimension written on the fence there. He put that against the wind. So he's going to have a grand slam. He takes his helmet off prior to reaching home plate. That's not a good thing. They used to, I think the home plate umpire is going to go talk to Coach Courtney maybe about that. I know back years ago, probably 5-10 years ago, I think he's going to tell him, leave the helmet on until you reach home. Because I think a home run was taken away from a guy in a sectional, homered. He got to home plate, removed his hat early, and they called him out, and that was an extra inning home run that would have ended the ball game. And he took his helmet off, and he didn't get credit for a home run. So there's a free pass there. They give a little free pass there about the mention of the helmets. So it's going to be a grand slam. 6 runs are in here for the Bombers in the bottom of the second inning. So bases are empty. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the windup, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch just misses outside. In the batter's box, 4-hitter, number 22, Ryan Kellner. Kellner is the DH for Coach Courtney. Here comes the wind and the pitch. High and away, ball 2. Still just 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Bases are cleared. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Kellner. Outside edge, strike called. 2 balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Ryan Kellner. Out of the windup, here comes the pitch. Swung on and take it to center field. It's going to back up to Linko. He's not going to get to it. He's going to bounce one time up against the fence. He's going to end up at second base. A 2-base hit. Standing up for the 4-hitter, Ryan Kellner. So he got every bit of that pitch and took it to center field and got over the head of Vince Talenko. There was nobody going to get to that ball. So stepping into bat, 5-hitter, number 8, Brady Martin. Runner at second base is Kellner. There's 1 out. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, and he's just high and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 5-hitter, right-handed batter, Brady Martin. Checks second base. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul 1 straight back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brady Martin. Where's number 8, right-handed batter? Just a little bit of an instep on the open stance. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch from Jonah Gerke. Going to get back to the screen. They're going to call it a foul ball. Didn't put his arms up. Right there at Kellner was ready to go to second base. But I didn't hear a foul ball at all. But it was. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alba set. It checks second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside of ball. They're setting up outside. Good block right there by Ben Weeks. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a drive to left field. Colton Minnick going to get a beat on it. He'll move to his left. He'll make the catch. He'll get it in cutoff. Mikey Stapleton. And there are 2 out here in the bottom of the second. So next batter going to step in for Rensselaer Central. 6-hitter, number 9, Caden Webb. Caden Webb, shortstop for the Bombers. Runner at second base, Ryan Kellner. Kellner got himself aboard. Bases were empty. There are 2 out, bottom of the second. Alice set. Here comes the pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. So stepping back in, Caden Webb. On deck is Jackson Jones. Alice set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Right-handed batting, Caden Webb. And now the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, right side, over the Knights dugout. Knights occupying the first base dugout. Rensselaer Central occupying the third base dugout. He'll step back in. 2-1 count to Caden Webb. Now the stretch, now the set. Check second. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. It's going to be a fair ball down the third baseline. Gilkey couldn't glove it. Goes into the corner, picked up there by Colton Minnick. He'll bring it back towards second base, trying to hit the cutoff. And it's going to be a 2-base hit, 1 RBI off the bat of Caden Webb. So the Bombers have 7 runs here in the this bottom of the second inning. It's a 7-3 contest. Stepping into bat, 7-hitter. He wears number 2. He's the catcher, Jackson Jones. Runner at second base is Caden Webb. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul 1 right side, out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the second inning, a beautiful day for baseball. They're talking some rain the rest of the week. We'll hope it can stay away a long enough time to play the games. Out of the set, check second base. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch finishes high. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. Alice set. Here comes the pitch. High and tight. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Jackson Jones batting on deck is Dalton Lynch. Out of the set, Jonah Gerke. He'll check second. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on. He'll fly 1. Foul territory left side. Going to be a long run for Gilkey and Minnick. It floats out of play. So they'll jog back, pick up the bat. A 2-2 count. Right there for Jackson Jones. So we'll step back in. 2-2, 2 outs. Runner at second base. Out of the set. Check second. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a hit by pitch. Might have got him on the hand. Ball ends up down the third baseline. Evidently was just a hit by pitch, so he goes to first base. And next batter going to step in. It's going to be the 8 hitter. Number 13, Dalton Lynch. Dalton Lynch plays first base for the Bombers. We're the bottom of the second inning. Bombers have 7 here in the second inning. It's a 7-3 contest. Bombers in front. Right-handed batter steps in. Dalton Lynch. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Lucas Gerke. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut. Swing and a miss. No balls. 1 strike. Lynch going to step back in. Plays first base for Coach Courtney. Out of the set. Check second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Perfectly placed. Strike called. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Bombers batting bottom of the second inning. Here comes the pitch. You're going to take it to center field. Going to pop it in. Going to end up in the glove. Vince Talenko didn't have to move much. And the Knights get out of the inning. Knights give up 7. Bottom of the second inning. They give up 7. 1 was a home run with bases loaded. So bases loaded, slam to right field. And the Knights going to bat in the top of the third inning after 2 completes. Rensselaer Central Bombers, 7. Central Catholic Knights, 3. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. She's a real estate agent and a real estate broker. She has an IQ that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She has a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21, Sheets Company. She's highly recommended. Yes, she's a real estate agent and a real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, you can reach her at 317-513-4086. Again, that's 317-513-4086. That's Lisa Stokes Bear. So getting warmed up again here, top of the third inning. Back on the pitcher's rubber is Brady Martin. Going to throw one down to second base. Frozen rope from Jackson Jones. And Knight's going to step in. It's going to be the 3 hitter. Number 10, Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke's played in all 11 games. He's batting .367 in that left-handed batter's box. .513 on base percentage. He's at 39 plate appearances, 30 at-bats. He has 11 hits on the season. That leads the team. Here comes the pitch. Going to be another hit. Going to get to the grass between second and first base. They're going to send him to second base. Going to get by the right fielder, Landon Mush. So they're going to give him credit for a single. He'll end up at second base. And Lucas Gerke ends up picking up his 9th hit on the season, 9th single on the season. He now has 12 hits. Stepping into bat, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes 1 ball, no strikes. Looking for signals. Third base coach. Coach Bourdonnais. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to foul one. Take that back. You're going to go to center field. Misplay. They're going to be caught in center field. They're going to fake a tag with Gerke and a nice throw to third base. Brayson Johns collects it. And there's 1 out for the Knights here in the top of the third. So Lucas Gerke stays put at second base and a fly out off the bat of Mikey Stapleton. Next batter, step in for the night. It's going to be the 5-hitter, number 3, Jackson Kane. Jackson Kane batting .310, right-handed batter's box. That's in 11 games, .474 on base percentage. Out of the set, here comes a pitch from Martin. Low for a ball. Good block there by Jackson Jones. Count goes 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. We're now a stretch, not set. Pitch comes in, outside and low, ball 2. Jackson Kane, 39 plate appearances, 29 at-bats. He's got 9 hits, 7 singles, 2 doubles, and he's got a home run in this ball game. Pitch comes in tight for a ball, 3-0. So we'll step back in. Peering in, look at the signals. Out of stretch, here comes the 3-0. High and tight, ball 4. Jackson Kane will pick up his 10th base on balls this season. So next batter going to step in. It's going to be number 33, DJ Gilkey. DJ Gilkey going to step in. He's batting .267, .353 on base percentage. He's played in 10 of the 11 games. Pitch comes in tight for a ball. Going to get by the glove of Jones. And the Knights are going to move up 90 feet. They have runners at second and third base. Knights have 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 ball, no strikes, looking for signals. Left-handed batter, DJ Gilkey. On deck is Jonah Gerke. Open stance for DJ Gilkey. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Going to take it the other way. He'll go to left field with it. It's going to be shallow, and it's going to drop in, a base hit. Coach Bourdonnais going to send 2 runners to the plate. They're both going to score standing up. As Lucas Gerke and Jackson Kane. It's going to be a 2 RBI double off the bat of DJ Gilkey. So Gilkey picks up another double. He has 4 on the season. Gilkey picks up 2 more RBI, and he has 3. I take that back. He has 9 RBI on the season. Stepping into bat for the Knights. It's going to be number 14, 7-hitter, Jonah Gerke. And I think they have a runner at second base. I didn't catch that. I was looking at my notes. But the Knights going with a runner at second base. It's a courtesy runner for Jonah Gerke. I take that back. Jonah Gerke batting. He's going to fly one left side. It's going to float out of play, a foul ball. And the Knights do have a runner at second base. On deck is Colton Minnick. Knights have 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. 7-5 contest. Knights have 2 runs in here in the 3rd. Bombers up 7-5 out of the set. Pickoff move, no throw. Nobody there to cover. Brady Martin, the pitcher, he'll step back in. Look at signals from Jackson Jones. Out of the set, he'll check second. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Sophomore athlete, Jonah Gerke, out of the set. Long set. Checking second. Here's the pitch. Be a ground ball, shortstop. We fielded there by Caden Webb. The throw across the diamond. Couldn't get the put out. Low throw. Dalton Lynch had trouble fielding it. Probably going to be an error on the throw. And I'm doing the pinch running there at second, coming around the bases to score, is Tatum Adriano. And they're going to go with a runner at second base for Jonah Gerke. It's going to be number 27.
Now to bat number
27 at third base. Second base for the Knights can be Keegan McCarter. Stepping in for the Knights, Colton Minnick. Thought about a pickoff move at second base. No throw. Nobody there to take it. So Keegan McCarter is doing the running at second base. Here comes a pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. No balls, one strike. Colton Minnick batting here in the top of the third inning. Quite a bit of scoring so far in this ball game. Alisette checks second base again. And Colton Minnick calls time. He removes the right hand from the bat to call time. That's risky. Home plate umpire doesn't have to grant it. If you got a hand off your bat, it can be hard to swing a strike. Alisette, here comes a pitch. It'll be a ground ball. Third base side. Picked up there by Brayson Johns. He'll throw off target and getting by the first baseman again, Dalton Lynch. And Colton Minnick rounds the bases. He's going to get down at third base. Head first slide. He's safe at third. So Colton Minnick was off to the races. Rounded first base on the overthrow. And he ends up at third base. And the Knights score another run. And that was Keegan McCarter. Scores from second base on the overthrow at first base. Coach Jared Courtney out to the pitcher's mound to talk to his guys. And it's a tie ball game at 7. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Scott G. Scott G, that's Scott Gadshaw. When time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana Middle School and High School athletics. So Coach Courtney going to walk off the surface. Jackson Jones, the catcher, a few words, talking with Brady Martin. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. 9-hitter number 25, Vince Talenko. Talenko's going to step in. He's got a hit. He's got a single. He's got a double. He's got a double in this ball game. Right-handed batter. Plays center field for the Knights. Step in the rubber. Peer in, look at signals from Jackson Jones. Alisette checks third base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Going to take one the other way. Foul ball, out of play, right side. No balls, one strike. He'll step back in. Vince Talenko, center fielder, right-handed batter for the Knights. Alisette, we're going to try a pickoff move. Third base, back safely is Colton Minnick. A little bit of a flip move there, almost out of the stretch position. Not a bad move by Martin. Alisette. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. One ball, one strike, one out. Knights have 4 runs in. Stepping in a bit early there. They're going to allow this pitch. Inside edge, strike called. Martin was in a set position about the time Talenko stepped in for that last pitch. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. He'll take a base hit. He'll go to left field, one hop in the glove of Dylan Simmons. The score from third base is Colton Minnick. And the Knights go up by 1. So a base hit and an RBI for Vince Talenko. And then Vince Talenko now with 3 RBI on the season. Talenko in the ballgame has a hit, which is a single, and a double. So stepping in, Hudson Gutwein. Leadoff batter for the Knights. Pickoff move, first base, back safely. Head first is Talenko. Hudson Gutwein, he's played in 10 of the 11 games, batting .370. .595 on base. They're going to try a pickoff move again, and it gets by the glove of Dalton Lynch. So Colton Minnick jogs down to second base. There's just 1 out. Top of the third inning. Hudson Gutwein, he's been to the plate, entering this game in 10 games, 42 times, 27 at-bats, 10 hits, 5 singles, 5 doubles. And he got a home run his first time up today. You're going to take one to center field here. It's going to back up his center fielder. Couldn't get to it, didn't glove it. So it's going to be a double off the bat of Hudson Gutwein. And Colton Minnick moves to third base. So Gutwein picks up a 2-base hit to center field. He now has 6 doubles on the season and 12 hits for the Knights. He's tied with Gerke with 12. Stepping into bat, 2-hitter for the Knights, Alex Schumer. Runners at second and third base, 1 out. Out of the set position, Brady Martin. Pitch comes in, inside half, strike called. No balls, 1 strike. Signals given. He'll step in. Runners at second and third. Out of the set, Martin, here's the pitch. Going to be a ground ball, second base. They'll get the out at first. Schumer will pick up an RBI as Talenko comes in to score from third base. So it's a fielder's choice and an RBI for Schumer. Stepping in with 2 outs. 3-hitter, Lucas Gerke. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing. Ball outside. Count goes 1-0. Left-handed batter facing the righty, Brady Martin. Out of stretch. Now the set. He'll check third. Here's the pitch. High and tight. Ball 2. Lucas Gerke, his first home run on the season earlier in this game. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. He'll foul it off out of play, left side. On deck for the Knights is number 11, Mikey Stapleton. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Gerke. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Inside and low, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Hudson Gutwein is at third base for the Knights. 2 out. Top of the third. Here comes the pitch. Going to call it a strike, inside edge. A little bit of a gift there for Martin. Count goes full. Peering in, looking at singles. Out of the stretch, now the set. Here comes the 3-2. Ball 4. Gerke going to jog to first base. So runners at first and third base. Set to bat in is the 4-hitter, Mikey Stapleton. He wears number 11. He's played in all 11 games. He's got an batting average of 281. On base percentage of 390. So you're going to check the wristband there. Steps in, right-handed batter, Mikey Stapleton. Runners at first and third, 2 out. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside low, good block by Jackson Jones. And Lucas Gerke jogs to second base. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Stapleton. Outside half, strike called. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Working out of the stretch. Now the set, he'll check third. Here's the pitch. He'll take 1 to right field. Going to get a beat on it. He'll dive for it. Couldn't get to it. That was Landon Mush. Picked up behind him by center fielder Kason Shanley. And the Knights score 2 on the base hit. On the base hit from Mikey Stapleton. So Gerke and Gutwein score. Mikey Stapleton comes up with 2 RBI. He has 8 on the season. And Mikey Stapleton now with 10 hits for the Knights. Stepping in, Jackson Kane. Right-handed batter. Jackson Kane, a home run in this game. Working out a stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. No balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter facing the righty, Brady Martin. Out of the set position. He'll check first base. Here comes the pitch. Taking off for second base is Mikey Stapleton. Head first slide. He's there safely. Ball gets away from the second baseman, Dawson Kane. And the count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kane. Out of the set, Martin. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. I think Jackson Kane probably likes this umpire. Most umpires Jackson faces, they like to call the outside strike when it was well off the plate. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, a ball high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jackson Kane may see a good pitch right here. He'll tap the plate far and near. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 3-1. Going to be a ground ball base hit between third base and shortstop. Rounding third base, going to come in and try to score, and he will. Standing up, that's Mikey Stapleton. And Jackson Kane's going to get a single and an RBI, and he'll take second base on the throw to the plate. So Jackson Kane now with 12 hits on the season. And he'll pick up the RBI. He now has 11. So next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 28, Tatum Adriano. So he plays third base in the ball game. Out of the set. Checks second base. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Tatum Adriano. Just a freshman. Pretty good sized young man. Working out a stretch. Pickoff move. Nobody there. They're going to call a balk. They throw to an unoccupied base. So coming in to score is Kane from second base. I think Kane's only going to get third base. They threw to an unoccupied base. That's a balk. But Jackson Kane is going to be asked to go back to third base. So Jackson Kane gets third on the balk call. And they throw the ball away. So high school baseball, it's a delayed balk. So that's interesting. Coach Bordney has an interesting beef right there. He'll walk away with his hands crossed. And Jackson Kane will get to go to third base because he was at second when the balk was called. Brady Martin threw a pickoff move to first base, but nobody was there. You can't throw to an unoccupied base unless you step off the back of the rubber and become an infielder. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Tatum Adriano. 1 ball, no strikes. Tatum wears number 28. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball, going to short out the glove. Difficult play to make for Jackson Jones, the catcher. And Jackson Kane will jog in and score from third base. So 13-7. It was 7-3 when the inning began. We're at the top of the third. Knights have 13. 13-7. Here comes the set. Here comes the pitch. High and tight inside for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Step back in. Working from the windup, Brady Martin. Here comes the pitch. Strike called right down meridian. Take signal. Count goes 3-1. Out of the windup, here comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Count goes full at 3-2. On deck for the Knights is Jonah Gerke. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It'll be a ground ball. Shortstop. He'll field it. Caden Webb. Safe at first. It's going to be an infield single off the bat of Tatum Adriano. So Adriano gets himself aboard with a single. And then we're going to see Lucas take that back. Jonah Gerke going to step in. He's a lefty, left-handed batter. Signals given by Coach Bordney. Tatum Adriano, a modest lead there at first base, working from the stretch. Now the set. Brady Martin, here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss for Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke, on the season. Jonah Gerke has 2 RBI. He has scored 2 runs. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball. They're in the batter's box. It was a low pitch. Fouled it off. Jones got a piece of it. Home plate umpire's checking on Jackson Jones. He's okay. Count goes 0-2 to Gerke. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. A little fishing pitch there from Brady Martin. Nothing doing from Gerke. Tatum Adriano is at first base. Left-handed batter, Jonah Gerke, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Inside, a breaking pitch. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Brady Martin. Here comes the 2-2. Low for ball 3. 3-2 count. 3-2 count. Tatum Adriano is going to be on his horse. Out of the set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Martin. Inside, ball 4. So runners at first and second base. Coach Jared Courtney going to walk out. I'm going to talk with his infield. And time is out. And we'll mention today's ball game is also in parts being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers in Fritz and Noblesville, celebrating 43 years in business in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. Late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations. You can go to fritzandfishers.com. They're located Fishers, Indiana, 8599 East 116th Street. You can reach them by phone at 317-842-2228. Noblesville, their Noblesville location between Noblesville and Westfield. You can find them there at 317-773-2232. And we're going to talk right now to these young ladies over here, if they'll allow me to. And we're going to talk to Maddie. Maddie, you're going to go to Purdue. Talk about your future.
I'm going to go to Purdue to major in animal science, hopefully do something with genetics.
Now, what made you decide on animal science?
Well, I've grown up on a farm my whole life, so I love animals.
What kind of livestock?
Pigs.
Okay, we have a sheep farm. We had one for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, it's very good. Have you helped with the birth of pigs?
Oh, yes.
How fun can that be?
It can be fun, but it can also be terrible.
Sounds like fun. We're going to talk to your friends here. Okay, you're a senior, but they're sophomores. We're going to talk with Sierra, and Sierra's going to tell us about her schooling and what she's looking forward to after graduation.
Schooling's going pretty good. I just can't wait till summer, and for after school, after I graduate, I want to go into the union and do welding.
Do welding? That is amazing.
Yeah, it's just something that I've been thinking about recently.
Do they have vocational school here?
Yeah.
We gotta do well. All right. How about Sierra? My bad. Hayden. How about you?
I want to be an ultrasound technician.
Ultrasound technician. What makes you want to do that?
I want to be in the medical field, but I don't like nasty stuff. So.
Well, that sounds good. We're gonna have to get back over here. Thank you.
Okay. Well.
Thanks. So they got a new pitcher warmed up right there. Doing the pitching right there for Rennselaer Central. Working from the stretch. Now the delivery is going to be a fly ball to third base. It's going to be caught right there by Brayson Johns. And the Bombers get out of the inning. So they get out of the inning, but before they do, they give up 10 runs. It's a 13-7 contest. We'll go to the bottom half of the third inning. Might go a long time here. There are no lights here. It is 5 o'clock Central Time. It's 6 o'clock. I take that back. 6 o'clock Central Time. 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And the Knight's going to send back out to the pitcher's rubber, number 14, Jonah Gerke. Wasn't that nice? Got to talk with these young ladies up here. And Maddie, senior, going to go to Purdue. Animal science. Grow up on a pig farm. That's nice. And then Sierra and Hayden making choices about their future. So we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Family owned and operated since 1955. You can increase your yield. They've got tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawnmowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment. They have 5 locations. You can reach them by dialing 800-333-6947. That's 800-333-6947. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment. Stepping in, getting ready to bat for the Bombers. Here comes the first pitch from Jonah Gerke, inside and tight, ball 1. At the plate right now is number 1, Dylan Simmons. He plays left field for the Bombers. Here comes a pitch from Gerke. Outside of ball, count goes 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. You're going to step back in. Working out of the windup. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Swung on, he'll foul it. It'll go out of play left side. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. 9-hitter number 1, Dylan Simmons. Bombers got 7 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes above the zone. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Peering over the glove. Jonah Gerke. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. I take that back. That was a 3-1, and that's ball 4. So we'll jog to first base. Dylan Simmons is aboard with nobody out. Next batter going to step in. Number 23, Landon Mush. Landon Mush playing right field for Coach Courtney. So we'll step in now. We'll check the wristband. Right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. From Ben Weeks, out of the set. In square early, going to try to put a bunt down. He won't bunt. He'll pull the bat back. It's a ball. And Dylan Simmons is safe at second, standing up. So 1 ball, no strikes. Landon Mush batting here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Out of the set. Jonah Gerke, here's the pitch. Outside of ball, good glove by Ben Weeks. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 1 aboard for Rensselaer Central. Dylan Simmons at second. Here's the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Jonah Gerke looking for that release point. Throwing a little bit across his body. Out of the set. He'll check second base. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So he'll jog down to first base. That's Landon Mush. He's the 1-hitter for Rensselaer Central. Now they have 2 aboard, first and second, with nobody out. So Tatum Adriano with some words of wisdom for Jonah Gerke. Stepping into bat, 2-hitter number 7, Dawson Kane. Plays second base for the Bombers. Out of the set. Here's the pitch. Take one the other way. Foul ball. It's going to be in the field of play. Let's track that down. No balls, 1 strike. Stepping back in, Dawson Kane. 2-hitter for Rensselaer Central. Out of set. Gerke checks second base. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Nope, he's going to step off the back. He'll step off the back. He'll step back in. But first, Mikey Stapleton going to have some words right there with Jonah Gerke. Mikey, a junior. Jonah, a sophomore. Give a chance for the home plate umpire to dust the plate off. So runners at first and second base. Nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Bombers batting out of set position. Here comes a pitch to Kane. Outside edge, strike called. Dawson Kane, second baseman for Coach Jared Courtney. Peering in, looking at singles. Out of the stretch. Now the set. He'll check second. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. Going to short hop the glove. Hard to get to. Ben Weish has to chase that one back. Might have been a wild pitch. Not sure. But the runner's going to move up 90 feet. So second and third base right now for Rensselaer Central. And the count goes, double check the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out of set position. Gerke, here's the pitch. Can be low for a ball. 2-2 count. 2-2 count, 2-hitter. Number 7, Dawson Kane. Runners at second and third base. For the Bombers, out of set. Here comes the pitch from Gerke. He's going to take a float one. Left side, foul territory, giving it a look. Tatum Adriano nearly gloved it. He did. Let me double check here. It must have dropped. My goodness, looked like he caught it from here, but good effort. He'll stay in the box, 2-2 count. Dawson Kane. Runners at second and third. Out of set. Jonah Gerke, here's the pitch. Low for ball 3. 3-2 count. First base is open. Jonah Gerke going to step back in, look at signals from Ben Weeks out of the set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Inside and tight, ball 4. So Kane going to jog to first base. Bases are loaded. And last time they were loaded for Brayson Johns. Brayson Johns went yard down the right field line for a grand slam. So Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out. I'm going to talk with his infield. And you're going to talk to Jonah. And Jonah's going to hand him the baseball. Jonah went 2 complete. Pitched here in the third inning. The Knights going to go with another pitcher right here. And I believe it's going to be Keegan McCarter. Keegan McCarter. Where's number 27? Keegan McCarter, 6 foot, 143. He's a sophomore. He's going to get warmed up right now. Keegan McCarter has pitched 3 1/3 innings. This is going to be appearance number 4. He has not started a game. He's thrown at 16 batters. I should say he's faced 16 batters, 63 pitches. And he's going to get warmed up right now. So bases are loaded. And there's nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. And I got to mention, home plate umpire doing a very fine job. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by McCormick Printing Impressions. Before we dive back into action, we want to spotlight a business that's been printing success in our community for 50 incredible years. McCormick Printing Impressions. From business cards to banners, T-shirts to office supplies, MPI is your local full-service print shop delivering quality, great service, and creativity in every project. Family owned and operated for 2 generations, MPI knows that your first impression matters, so they make sure it's a good one. Next time you need something printed with perfection, turn to MPI, because at McCormick Printing Impressions, they don't just print, they help you make your best impression. It's McCormick Printing. They're in Tipton. 765 675-9556. Pitching from the stretch, Keegan McCarter. Stepping into bat, 3-hitter number 10, Brayson Johns, third baseman. Here's the pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Johns with a grand slam, his last at bat. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to foul one, left side, out of play. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brayson Johns, 3-hitter for the Bombers. Out of the set. McCarter, here's the pitch. Pitch right across the dish. Strike called. Count goes 1-2. Look almost like a screwball from here. Working from the stretch. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to take one down the right field line. It's going to go foul. Might went out of play. So we'll step back in with a 1-2 count. Brayson Johns working from a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. He's trying to protect the dish right there. Outside edge. Took a wave at it. And Keegan McCarter picks up a strikeout. So with 1 out, stepping into bat, the 4-hitter. 22, Ryan Kellner. Bases are loaded with 1 out. The right-handed batter facing the righty, McCarter. You're going to foul one straight back, out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Flag is fluttering right there above the scoreboard. Going from right to left. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch finishes high and away. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Kellner, the DH for Coach Jared Courtney. Out of the set, here's the pitch. High above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bases are loaded. McCarter entered the game with bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Kellner goes down the count. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded. Now the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. And it's going to be a hit by pitch. Hit by pitch. And they're going to jog in a run from third base. Scoring the run there is Dylan Simmons. And Ryan Kellner is okay. He's at first base. They have bases loaded again. There's 1 out. Stepping in, the 5-hitter. Where's number 8? He does the pitching. Brady Martin. And Brady Martin, right-handed batter for the Bombers. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Keegan McCarter. Long pier, now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball foul. Third base side. Count goes to 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. 5-hitter Brady Martin. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Out of the set position, here comes the 0-1 pitch. Pitch comes in above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals, Keegan McCarter. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. He's going to drive one foul left side. Got a lot of it. Sweet spot on that aluminum bat. They say the sweet spot is 14 inches on an aluminum bat. A wooden bat, it's 8 inches sweet spot. That's why it's so hard to get a base hit in a wooden bat tournament. We're now stretch, now the set. Here comes the 1-2. High and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right-handed batter, Brady Martin. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set position. 2-2 pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So he'll stay in the box with a 2-2 count. Get a baseball replenishment. Back in the batter's box, number 8, Brady Martin. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Keegan McCarter. Out of the set. Here comes the 2-2. He's going to float one. Playable. Called for by Mikey Stapleton. He'll be in foul territory. Couldn't quite get to it. The wind is tough. So it's going to drop for a foul ball. And Brady Martin going to stay in the box with a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 13-8. Knights in front. Out of the set. The 2-2 again. Outside of ball. Count goes full. Full count, 3-2. Nowhere to put him. 3-2. Pitch on the way. He's going to step off the back. Keegan McCarter. He'll step back in. And they're both ready. Out of the stretch, now the set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. He'll be off the handle of the bat. He'll go to shortstop. Mikey Stapleton. They go 6, 4, and 3, and they'll get it. Stapleton to Gutwein and across the diamond back to first to Lucas Gerke, and the Knights get out of the inning with a double play ball. Haven't seen a lot of double play balls from the Knights this season. Maybe they're on the way. So we'll mention getting out of the inning. 1 run in. 1 run in here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Bombers. And then we'll mention after 3 complete, Knights 13, Bombers 8. And we do thank you for tuning in, and we'll mention today's ball game is also in part being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. Noblesville Trophies, you can shop them online at noblesvilletrophies.com or stop in, if only to browse around. They're located at 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana. They have trophies, awards, plaques, and much, much more. They have fast turnaround. Prices are low. They are so low you may want to be a repeat customer. That's Noblesville Trophies, 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana, 46060. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can reach them by phone by dialing 317-773-7391. Again, that number is 317-773-7391. Or go online at noblesvilletrophies.com. They got a new pitcher in the ballgame for Rensselaer Central. It's going to be number 7, Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane, another right-handed pitcher for the Bombers. So Dawson Kane doing the pitching. And up to the plate for the Knights is number 25, Vince Talenko. You know, work from the stretch. Got that wristband on. I think I'd have him remove it. Pitch comes in high for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Vince Talenko. They're going to work it from there. Ball 2 a bit high. They're going to go 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Working from the stretch. Nobody on base. Here comes the pitch from Kane. Low for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Step back in. Peering in, looking for signals. Dawson Kane. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Inside and tight, ball 4. He'll jog down to first base. The ball gets back to the backstop. He'll stay there. That's Vince Talenko at first base for the Knights. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be Hudson Gutwein. Gutwein, the leadoff batter in today's ball game for the Knights. Right-handed batter, he'll step in, working from the stretch. Looks at first base out of the stretch. Now the set. He'll look at first. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, a strike call. A little bit of an elbow or some shoulder motion there from the set. About the same type of balk that Mikey Stapleton was called for last week. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Checks it again. First base. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in above the zone. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Step back in the rubber. Dawson Kane moves over from second base to do the pitching here in the top of the 4th. Pitch comes in above the zone. Ball 3. I'd have been mistaken. Might be ball 2. So we'll step back in. 2-1 count. Peering in, looking at signals. Dawson Kane out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Foul one right side, out of play. So the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm surprised they haven't asked him to remove that wristband. The pitcher, Dawson Kane, that white wristband showing evidently. Out of the set. Here comes the 2-2. The foul one straight back, out of play. So baseball replenishment. Alex Schumer's going to deliver one. Jackson Jones throws one out to Kane. 2-2 count. Hudson Gutwein steps back in. Gutwein has 12 hits now in the season. He has 2 today. Pitch comes in high for a ball. 3-2. Hudson Gutwein's second pitch of the ball game. He went yard, just right side of the scoreboard. Put it out of here. Out of stretch, out of set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a ground ball, base hit. Going to get between shortstop and third base. Going to go into left field. Dylan Simmons picks it up. The Knights have 2 aboard. Here in the top of the 4th. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer in 11 ball games, batting .303. On base percentage .452. Alex Schumer. He has 1 RBI in this ball game. Left-handed batter. 2 aboard, first and second. Infield is in at first base. Dalton Lynch. Here comes the pitch, going to square the bunt. Schumer going to foul it left side. Out in front of the dugout, the left side. Rensselaer Central. No balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. In at first base is Dalton Lynch. Going to play the bunt. Out of the set, Dawson Kane. Here's the pitch. He's going to square the bunt. Pulls the bat back. The ball's over the glove of Jackson Jones. And the runners move up 90 feet. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Knights have 2 aboard. Hudson Gutwein is at second base. Vince Telenko is at third base. Stepping into bat. Once again, 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Schumer. Now the stretch, now the set. Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. High and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Schumer steps back in. Working from the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch from Kane. A full swing foul ball. Left side above the dugout and way out of play. They'll throw a ball back in. So 2-2 count to Schumer. 2 aboard. Knights have runners at second and third. Nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. High and away. Ball 3. 3-2 count. To Schumer. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Dawson Kane. Here comes the 3-2. Gonna strike him out. They're gonna lock him up, and he'll walk back to the dugout. He thought that was high and away, and he probably wasn't wrong, but you gotta protect the dish. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Peering in, looking at signals. In the batter's box, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Here's the pitch. He'll take a ground ball back to the pitcher. He'll get the out at first. They're going to score a run. Gerke's going to get a fielder's choice. I should say they'll just go 1-3. But an RBI scoring from third base is Vince Talenko. Moving to third base from second is Hudson Gutwine. So Knights have 1 aboard with 2 out. Stepping into bat, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Shortstop. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. So lets it go by. Strike called inside half. He'll step back in. No balls, 1 strike. Knights might have some bullpen activity going down the right field line. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 4-hitter for the Knights, Mikey Stapleton. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the set. Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Step back in the rubber. Dawson Kane, looking at signals from Jackson Jones, out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Going to be played for by the shortstop. Going to bounce over his head. That was a high hopper, like a tennis match. And over the head of shortstop, Caden Webb. It's going to be a hit off the bat and an RBI for Mikey Stapleton. Coming in to score from third base is Hudson Gutwine. Hudson Gutwine, 23 runs he scored this season. And going to be the 9 RBI for Mikey. In the batter's box, number 3, Jackson Kane. First pitch comes in high and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first base is Mikey Stapleton. There are 2 out. Top of the 4th inning. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball. Third base, Brayson Johns. He'll throw across the diamond and couldn't get the put out. Couldn't glove it at first base. And Hudson Gutwine right there is at third base. You take that back as Mikey Stapleton at third base for the Knights. And the Knights have runners on the corners. So Jackson King is going to reach on air and stepping into bat for the Knights. It's going to be number 28, Tatum Adriano. We're now stretch, now the set. Checks first base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Talk about throwing to second base. No throw. Head first slide. Safe at second is Kane. Tatum Adriano, that swing was kind of put him in harm's way out in front of the catcher. There's no throw, so no interference. Time called, and Adriano takes his hand off the bat to call time again. Time is granted. No balls, 1 strike. Balls made live. Runners at second and third, 2 out for the Knights here in the top of the 4th. Swing and a miss for Adriano. Count goes 0-2. On deck for the Knights is number 27, Keegan McCarter. Peering in, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 0-2. Going to take it to second base. 2-hop, going to get in the glove there to throw to first base, and a good glove at first base. Going to get the put out. Well done. That was number 8, Brady Martin at first base. And the Knights are retired in the top of the 4th. We'll mention at the end of 3.5, Central Catholic 15, Rensselaer Central 8. And And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Discount Copies. Discount Copies, conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana. That's 46062. They're just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32. That's along State Road 32, west edge of Noblesville. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. Posters and oversized printing are also available. And if you're planning a wedding, they can print all of your necessary needs. You can reach Discount Copies by phone 317-773-8783. Again, that number is 317-773-8783. Or by Gmail, it's Discount Copies, the number 96 at gmail.com. So they're still playing some AC Delco here at the ball field, rocking and rolling. Tell you what, these girls do a pretty good job running the scoreboard, doing the announcing. I think that's Maddie doing the announcing. She sounds good. And then Sierra and Hayden, they're just working on their texting. They're getting better at texting. I tell my wife, I say, you've got a wrist bracelet with your text. You got a wrist bracelet, but she doesn't like it when I said that last game. I got in trouble. But set to bat for Rensselaer Central is going to be the 6-hitter, number 9, Caden Webb. Caden Webb, right-handed batter, going to step in. Bottom of the 4th inning. This game is dragging on, but there's a lot of scoring in this ball game. So Keegan McCarter working from the windup. Right-handed pitcher, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in above the zone, ball 1. Stepping back in, Caden Webb. Out of the windup, here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 4th inning. Out of the windup, McCarter. Outside edge, strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Keegan McCarter. Sophomore pitcher. Here comes the 1-2. Foul ball. Going to get back to the screen. Staying in that box. Getting rid of the bad. Looking for the good. Caden Webb. He's the shortstop for the Bombers. Peering in, looking at signals. Glove underneath the chin. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Third base side will be picked up by Adriano. He'll make the throw on the run. But it's going to be a base hit on the infield. Caden Webb gets himself aboard with the infield hits. Next batter going to step in. Going to be the 7-hitter. Number 2, Jackson Jones. Jackson Jones, pretty good catcher for Coach Courtney. Right-handed batter, he'll step in. Runner aboard at first base is Caden Webb. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning. Working out a stretch, check first base. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Try to check his swing. It's a called strike right down meridian. No balls, 1 strike. Step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out the stretch. Keegan McCarter checks first base out of stretch. Now the set. He's going to step off the back. Throw nonchalant. Back safely at first base is Webb. So peering back in, looking for signals from Ben Weeks. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Jackson Jones, 7-hitter. Batting here in the bottom of the 4th for the Bombers. Out of the set. McCarter, here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Little fishing pitch right there. McCarter, nothing doing for Jones. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runner at first base for the Bombers. It's Caden Webb. Pickoff move, back safety. Is Webb at first base. So McCarter's trying to keep him close, trying to give Ben Weeks an opportunity to throw him out should he try to steal. Timeout called in the right-handed batter's box by Jones. He'll step back in. 1-2 count. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside, going to get by the glove of Weeks. Taking off a delayed steal there. He's safe anyway. Standing up is Caden Webb at second base. So the count goes even at 2-2. Jackson Jones, a runner in scoring position for the Bombers. Out of the set, Keegan McCarter. Here comes the pitch. High and tight, ball 3. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Step back in. Out of the set, step off the back. So he'll reset. He'll step back in. Wasn't ready to make that pitch. He controls the pace of the game. He'll peer in, look for signals. 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, high and away. So Jackson Jones jogs to first base. He draws a walk. 2 aboard for the Bombers. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning. Stepping in. Bombers. Peering in out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Foul tip. Going to get back to the screen. In the batter's box, the 8-hitter, number 13, Dalton Lynch. Dalton Lynch started the game at first base. He'll step back in. No balls, 1 strike. Out of the set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Lynch. He'll take it to right field. He'll try to punch it in, and he will. Base hit. They'll go to second. They'll get, nope, couldn't get the force out. Stapleton couldn't hold the baseball. I'm not sure if that goes in the book as a fielder's choice or not. But all the runners are safe on the base pads for the Bombers. Next batter going to step in, going to be the 9-hitter, number 1, Dylan Simmons. So Dylan Simmons, right-handed batter, bases loaded, nobody out. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Keegan McCarter. Out of set position, here's the pitch. Strike called, outside edge. So Keegan McCarter, a little bit of a gift right there. Count goes 0-1. Out of set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runners at each base for the Bombers. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch to Simmons. Going to be a hit to third base. Gets by the glove of Adriano. Run comes in to score. It's going to be an RBI single off the bat of Simmons. Coming in to score from third base is number 9, Caden Webb. It's a 15-9 contest. Knight's in front. There's nobody out. Bottom of the 4th. Bombers still have bases loaded. Stepping in, the 1-hitter, number 23, Landon Mush. Landon Mush, a golden opportunity for the 1-hitter. Working out the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Peering in, looking at singles, out of the stretch. Keegan McCarter. Now out of the set position, here comes the 1-0 pitch. Going to be a hit to left field. Going to drop in front of Colton Minnick. 1 run comes in to score. They're going to try a shot at the plate. No throw to the plate. 2-run score on the single. And he'll take second base on the overthrow. So Landon Mush picks up 2 RBI and a single, and he's at second base, and then over at third base is Dylan Simmons. So timeout on the diamond. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out, going to talk with his infield, his pitcher's rubber, and they'll talk it over right there. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Camino and Company. That's in downtown Noblesville, Indiana. Camino and Company, you can find them on the web at camino-and-company.com. They're going to go with a new pitcher. They're going to send McCarter out to left field. We'll mention Camino and Company is a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers, small business partners, and the Camino and Company founders. Their mascot is a 1984 El Camino SS. That El Camino SS is owned by V.E. Witham. V.E. Witham is the grandpa of Carly Witham Elbrad. Carly Witham, she's the owner of Camino and Company. And the goal at Camino and Company is to please each customer from their concept to the Camino and Company completion. You can explore their website. Their website, again, is camino-and-company.com. They are now booking 2025 brides. So getting some warm-up tosses on the pitcher's rubber is number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, will mention, so far this season, he's thrown 3 1/3 innings. This is appearance number 4. He has 1 game starts. He's faced 16 batters, 56 pitches. He's got a win-loss ratio. He's got 1 win, 1 loss. And I will also mention he's given up 2 hits. He's given up 3 runs, and none of those runs were earned. He has walked 2 batters. He has struck out 4, and they all went down swinging. So Alex Schumer is ready to go. Umpires, they're just waiting for that. And Alex is ready. Runners at second and third base. Stepping in is number 7, Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane is the pitcher of record for Rensselaer Central. First pitch from Schumer. Swung on, he'll pop it. It's going to be foul territory. They're going to give it a look. It's going to float out of play. So Weeks was looking at it. Schumer was looking at it. And Adriano was looking at it. It went out of play. So no balls, 1 strike. He'll pick up his own bat. That's number 7. He's the 2-hitter. Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane, the pitcher for the Bombers. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch, Alex Schumer. Now out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, squared the bunt, pulled the bat back. It's a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. 15-11. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball, left side, out of play. Dawson Kane trying to help himself in that batter's box as the pitcher. Runners at second and third, a 1-2 count. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th. Out of the set position, Schumer. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge. They're going to call him out on strikes. So Schumer picks up his first strikeout looking on the season. There's 1 out. Stepping into bat. It's going to be number 10, Brayson Johns. Brayson Johns, a dangerous bat in his hands. Working out a stretch. Peering in, looking at singles. Alex Schumer out of the set. Runners at second and third. Here comes the pitch to Johns. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. 3-hitter, Brayson Johns, third baseman. Peering in, looking at singles. Now out of the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. High and away, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 count to Brayson Johns. Lefty facing the righty. Schumer the righty. John's the lefty. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. Last time up, Johns struck out swinging, trying to protect the outside edge. Peering in, looking at singles. 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Schumer. Outside and tall, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third base for the Bombers. Just 1 out. Out of sad. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. High for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Schumer going to have to bring a strike if he wants to deal with him. Peering in, looking at signals. First base is open. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul one back out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bomber baseball on the home run fence. Beautiful place to play. Out of the set. 3-2 pitch to Johns. Going to pop one up, playable on the infield. We called for by Gerke, first baseman. And Lucas Gerke retires Johns. So 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Next batter going to step in, the 4-hitter, number 22, Ryan Kellner. Ryan Kellner, DH. Got himself aboard with a base hit last at bat. Right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch, now the set. Alex Schumer. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. High and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out. Brian Kellner at the plate. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Schumer pitching here in the 4th inning for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signals from Ben Weeks out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Going to drive it back up the middle. A base hit. Goes into center field. Vince Talenko going to play it. He'll bring it into second base. And 2-run score on the RBI by Kellner. And 2-run score. That's number 1, Dylan Simmons, and 23, Landon Mush. It's a 15-13 contest. Bombers still batting. Bottom of the 4th inning. 2 out. Runner at first base is Ryan Kellner. Now batting Brady Martin. It was number 8. He started this game as the pitcher. Here's the pitch. High and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Wind's blowing across the diamond. Out of the set, Schumer. Here comes the pitch. Going to call it a strike. Outside edge. A little bit of a gift right there for Schumer. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Working from the stretch, looking at first base. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch to Martin. High and tight, ball 2. Take that back, ball 3. 3 balls. So Martin, I think it's a 2-1 count. We'll see. Umpire will let us know. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. I think it's 2-2. 2-2. The umpire keeps his signals in front of his chest protector. We can't see him from behind. So 2-2 count, working from the stretch. Now the set position, Schumer. Here's the pitch to Martin. Low and away, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Stepping back in, right-handed batter, number 8, Brady Martin. Alex Stretch gets a signal. Alex Schumer out of the set. Payoff pitch on the way. Outside, ball 4. So jogging down to second base is Ryan Kellner with 2 aboard and 2 out. Next batter going to step in, number 9, Caden Webb. Caden Webb swinging a good bat today. Right-handed batter's box. 2 out. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Ryan Schumer. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Caden Webb, shortstop. Working out the stretch. Now the set. He'll check second base. There's Schumer. Here comes the pitch. High and away. Should be above the zone. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set, Schumer checks second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Going to foul it back to the screen. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck batter for the Bombers is number 2, Jackson Kane. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, locked him up. Schumer gets another strikeout looking here in the 4th inning. So the Knights get out of a jam, but they give up some runs at the end of 4. Complete. Knights 15, Bombers 13. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention these Knights, and I should say the Knights and the Bombers. They got games coming up this week. Tomorrow, Rensselaer Central will be at Central Catholic. That'll be a 6 o'clock Eastern time start. That's on Tuesday, the 29th. And that'll be a 5 o'clock start here in Central time, Rensselaer Central Territory. And then the Knights are going to have 2 more games this week. Thursday, 6 o'clock on May the 1st, the Harrison Raiders will be at Central Catholic. And then on Friday, 6 o'clock, once again, May the 2nd, the Rossville Hornets will be at Central Catholic. And then Rensselaer Central Bombers, as mentioned, tomorrow night, they'll be at Central Catholic. That'll be a 6 o'clock Eastern time start. And then Rensselaer Central will be at Merrillville on Thursday, May the 1st. Merrillville, May the 1st. Say what, Merrillville, back in the day, they had that Star Plaza theater. I think I seen REO Speedwagon there. I actually went backstage that day without a backstage pass because of Michael Garrigan. He went by Beef Boy. Kevin Cronin called him Beef Boy. Myself and Andy Wilmot, he kissed them after the show. He said, hey, come on, you're all right. You don't need to pass. And he let us go backstage just by motioning us on. That was fun. But I'm stepping in now. Put a bat in the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be Keegan McCarter. Left-handed batter. Keegan McCarter getting his first at-bat of the season, outside, ball 1. Keegan McCarter has played in 4 games. This is the 4th game. Primarily a base runner. He has scored 1 run. Here comes the pitch. Low and away, ball 2. Left-handed batter facing number 7, Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane moved over last inning to do the pitching from second base. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Lets it go by. Strike called. 2 balls, 1 strike. Colton Minnick is on deck. So Keegan McCarter, here comes a pitch from Kane, inside and tight, ball 3. 3-1 count to McCarter. Playing him straight away in the outfield, regular depth here on the infield. Out of the set from Kane, here's the pitch. Strike called. He'll let it go by. Count goes full. Full count, 3-2. Working from the stretch. Nobody on base. Out of the set. Dawson Kane. Pitch comes in. High and away. Ball 4. So Keegan McCarter is at first base. Next batter to step in, bat for the Knights. 8-hitter, number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, left fielder for the Knights. He'll step in, working from the stretch. Dawson Kane out of the set. First pitch to Minnick. Strike called. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. A few signals given by Coach Bordnay, third base coach. Working from the stretch, now the set. Kane, here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll foul it straight back to the screen. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Vince Telenko is on deck for the Knights. Getting ready to step back in. Colton Minnick. Runner at first base for the Knights is Keegan McCarter. Nobody out. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Good block. Let's try to get him back at first base. A nice snap throw from Jackson Jones and a good block by Jones. Nearly got him at first base. Dalton Lynch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Minnick. Out of the set position. Kane. Here comes the 1-2. He's going to fly one to left field. Got a lot of it. It's going to back up the left fielder. He's going to catch it out in front of the home run fence. Aired that one out. If Minnick would have lined that out a little flatter, that ball would have been out of here. There's 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Stepping into bat. 9-hitter, number 25, Vince Telenko. Runner at first base is Keegan McCarter. He drew a walk. Out of the set. Kane, here's a pitch. Outside edge, strike called. That first strike, the umpire wants you to get a first strike, so you're not just sitting there holding the bat, trying to draw a walk. You call the first strike, get the guy swinging the bat. That's taught in umpire school. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. You're going to throw to second base. Safe at second is McCarter. Throw goes into center field. Picked up by Kason Shanley. Safe at second is Keegan McCarter. No balls, 2 strikes to Vince Telenko. Modest lead at second base. Straight off the base is Keegan McCarter. Out of the set position, Kane. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss. Vince Telenko will jog back to the dugout. There are 2 out. Set to bat again for the Knights. The 1-hitter. Leadoff batter is number 9, Hudson Gutwine. Hudson Gutwine has 2 hits in this game. He's got a double and a home run. Out of the set, Dawson Kane. Here comes the pitch. He's going to take one to left field. Got a lot of it. Has he got 2 in this game? Yes. 2 home runs in this game for Hudson Gutwine. Gutwine is going to have to increase the speed on his trot. He has got to increase the speed on that trot. But he's making the best of it. So a 2-run home run this time for Gutwine. And Gutwine has 2 home runs on the season. He kind of golfed that one out of here, straight away left field. So he now has 2. And then he's got 12 RBI on the season. And that's stepping into bat, number 12, Alex Schumer. First pitch low for ball 1. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch, nobody on. Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. He's going to pop one to outfield. Called for by the center fielder, and he'll make the catch. Kason Shanley, that was by the scoreboard, left center field, a nice catch by Shanley. And the Knights get out of the inning, but not before. A 2-run home run off the bat of number 9, Hudson Gutwine. Hudson Gutwine, also a tremendous receiver. Bobby Metzger, I'm sure he enjoyed throwing the football to Hudson Gutwine. So the Knights are going to play defensively here in the bottom of the fifth inning after 4.5. Knights 17, Bombers 13. And we do thank you for tuning in, and we'll mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. Honey Creek Resort, what a beautiful place to be. You can plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun, and recreation adventures are only 1 day's drive away. That's Honey Creek Resort in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an amazing lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much, much more. Truly amazing adventures and hospitality await you at honeycreekresort.com. You can make your group, business, and family getaway reservations today. You can call them at 641 724 1450. That's 641 724 1450. If you go online and check out honeycreekresort.com, you'll see a lot of photographs of their establishment. They've got an indoor water park, and it's got a slide in there your family will enjoy. Honey Creek Resort, that's in Iowa. Stepping into bat, going to bat here for Rennselaer Central in the bottom of the fifth inning. Going to be Jackson Jones. Here comes a wind and the pitch from Schumer. Strike called. Jackson Jones, the catcher for the Bombers, takes a first pitch strike. Out of the wind up, here comes the pitch. Low. They're going to call it a strike. Look a bit low. They're going to call it a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Jackson Jones knows he only needs 1. Working from the windup. Peering in, looking at signals. Timeout call. Jackson Jones. Too long to concentrate for a guy that's going to throw high 70s. Steps back in. No balls, 2 strikes. Out of the windup, here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, finish above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson Jones, he's the 7-hitter. Does the catching for Rensselaer Central. Pitch comes in low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 absolutely has to be a strike for him to go down looking. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging. There's 1 out. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Next batter going to step in. Number 13, Dalton Lynch. Dalton Lynch, first baseman. Got to speak with him last year. He was up here. He was under the weather of some sort. Right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Going to take one to right field. Going to back up the right fielder. He'll make the catch. And there are 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. I look out in right field. I think of a Minnick, Colton's brother, Caden Minnick, played right field for the Knights for 3 years. He caught about everything that went his way. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Dylan Simmons batting high and away, ball 1. Right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals. Alex Schumer. Working out of the windup. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. You're going to foul one left side, way out of play. Right-handed batter. Got around on that one severely. Count goes 1-1. Peering in, looking at signals. Alex Schumer. 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. Schumer got 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 were looking Here comes a pitch. High and tight for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pierre looking at signals. Here comes a wind and a 2-2. Swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging. And the Knights get out of the inning. Nobody left on base, no runs, no hits. And the Knights are going to bat in the top of the 6th inning. After 5 complete innings, Knights 17, Bombers 13. And again, we do thank you for tuning in, and we'll mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by AGM Auto. That's AGM Auto, LLC. At AGM Auto, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status of each and every AGM technician. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works toward the recovery and the restoration of the many now beautiful cars which now have become showroom treasures, mechanically and cosmetically. Your car could be next. To contact AGM Auto LLC, you can dial them at 317-984-5283. Again, that's 317-984-5283. Or go on Facebook, AGM Auto LLC. So they're getting some final warm-up tosses. Dawson Kane right there on the pitcher's row. They're going to throw a frozen rope to second base. Jackson Jones. And set to step in for the Knights is going to be number 10, Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke's got 12 hits on the season. Lucas Gerke has a home run in this game. He also has a single. He'll step in, left-handed batter facing the righty, working from the stretch. Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. Inside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 1-0. Outside edge, strike called. Count goes 1-1. He'll step back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. From the stretch, Dawson Kane. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul 1 left side out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 6th inning. Long game. 7:08 Central Time. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. High and away. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas Gerke, senior class member. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to foul 1 left side out of play. 2-2 count again. On deck is Mikey Stapleton. Peering in, looking at singles out of the stretch. Now the set. Here's the 2-2 again. Foul outside. Kind of lost the grip of that breaking pitch. Count goes full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas Gerke. Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. You're going to take one to center field. Got a lot of it. Going to back up the center fielder. Going to veer him around, and he'll make the catch. Right there at the warning track, Cason Shanley. That wind whipped him around, changed his direction, but he made the catch. Nice catch for out number 1 for the Knights.
Number 11, Stapleton.
Stepping into bat for the Knights, 4-hitter number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Plays shortstop for the Knights. He's batting .281 entering this game. .390 on-base percentage. Here comes the pitch. High and tight. Stapleton had to get out of the way. Right-handed batter's box, Mikey Stapleton. Stapleton got a base hit in this game. He's got 2 RBI. Out of the set, here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Third base off the glove. It was a hot shot. They might award him a single on the hot shot to third. Mikey Stapleton is aboard with 1 out.
Now to bat, number 3, Kane.
Next batter to step in for the Knights, number 3, Jackson Kane. Jackson Kane, we'll mention, he's got 2 hits in the ball game. 1 is a home run. Let me double check that. He's got 3 hits. 3 hits in the game. He got a multiple hit game with that home run. Out of the set, here comes a pitch from Kane to Kane. Swing and a miss. So swing and a miss. Count goes 0-1. Jackson Kane, the batter. Dawson Kane, the pitcher. Are they related? I don't know. Not quite sure. But stepping back in is Jackson Kane. Working from a stretch. Now the set is Dawson Kane. Here comes the 0-1. Outside ball. Snap throw good. Back to first base, Jackson Jones. So the Knights have 1 aboard. Mikey Stapleton at first base. There's 1 out. Jackson Kane batting. Here in the top of the 6th. Here comes a pitch from Dawson Kane. High and tight. Ball 2. Jackson Kane told me last week he's going to play college football. He's going to be a linebacker. And if you look at Jackson, his neck is like a tree stump. Throw over to first base, back safely. Jackson knows what it means to get in the weight room. Jackson, I remember when he showed up as a freshman catcher, he got a lot of comments then. Pretty good sized young man. He's going to play linebacker in college football. I forget where he told me. Pitch comes in, strike called. 2-2 count. Might have been DePaul. I think he might have said DePaul for football. So he'll get to team up with a former teammate from Central Catholic there. Here comes the pitch, taken off for second base, breaking pitch. You're going to strike him out. Going to steal second base, Mikey Stapleton. And Jackson is retired. He'll watch one go by, and there are 2 out.
Now to bat, number 28.
Next batter in the ball game, going to be number 28, 6-hitter, Tatum Adriano. Adriano, right-handed batter, freshman class member. Out of the set, Kane, here comes the pitch. Low and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. On deck for the Knights is Keegan McCarter. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set, he'll check second base. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tatum, Adriano. Coach Bordenay says, just calm down, hit the ball. Working from a stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch to Adriano. With a pickoff move, back to second base. Clockwise move for a right-hander is a tough move to make. If you're going to pirouette and you go counterclockwise, you can get a lot more velocity. But you got to make sure your throw is on target. Ben Mazer had a good one. Out of the set, he'll check second base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Outside edge, strike called. That strike zone is kind of creeping up there to be a little bit wider as this game goes along. Probably because there's no lights. I'm not sure. Out of the set, they're going to call time. Adriano calls time. And Mikey Stapleton was on his horse to go to third base. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tatum Adriano batting for the Knights. Runner at second base is Mikey Stapleton. Out of the set, pickoff move again, back safely is Mikey Stapleton. So we'll step back in the rubber. Dawson Kane pitching for the Bombers. Out of the set. Long set. He's looking at second base. He'll make the throw. Mikey Stapleton, little cat and mouse out there at second base. So stepping back in, Tatum Adriano. Stepping back in the rubber, Dawson Kane. Out of the stretch, he'll look at second. He'll step off the back. He'll step back in the rubber. Tatum, Adriano. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the Knights are retired. Adriano goes down swinging. So the Knights leave one aboard after 5.5. Knights 17. Bombers 13. Bombers going to bat the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll also mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. That's Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21 Real Estate. She's got a real estate IQ that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She has a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. You can let Lisa look, or you can let Lisa list. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21 Sheets Company. She has a highly recommended. She is highly recommended. She's a real estate agent and a real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, 317-513-4086. Again, her number is 317-513-4086. Rensselaer Central going to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Right-handed batter going to step in. It's going to be the leadoff batter. He'll be the one hitter. Number 23, Landon Mush. Landon Mush, right fielder for the Bombers. First pitch from Schumer. Swung on. He'll pop one up. Is it going to be playable? And it's going to float out of play behind the dugout of Rensselaer Central. So no balls, one strike. Landon Mush batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 17-13, a lot of runs scored in this ball game. I think we've had 5 home runs, 1 a grand slam. Here comes a pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Grand slam from Brayson Johns. 2 home runs from Hudson Gutwine, 1 from Lucas Gerke, and 1 from Jackson Kane. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 2-1. Meyer, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maddie's a lot better than me. So working from the windup. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch, 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Landon Mush, 1 hitter for Rensselaer Central. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Schumer. Swing and a miss, and he'll send him down swinging. Schumer lighting up the strike zone, picking up several strikeouts the latter part of this game. Set to bat, the 2-hitter, number 7, Dawson Kane. Dawson Kane, the pitcher of record for the Bombers. Working out the wind up. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. Good glove by Ben Weeks. Ben Weeks playing defensively, giving way to the batter. That's Jackson Kane, the DH. Here comes the pitch from Schumer. Foul ball back to the screen. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brayson Johns is on deck for the Bombers. Working from the windup. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Football field just beyond the right field fence. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Back to the pitcher. Schumer fields it. He'll throw a high throw over the head of Gerke, and it's going to get way beyond. He's going to round second base. He's going to end up at third base. He didn't even need to slide. Safe at third base. Dawson Kane
Now to bat number 10, Bryson
So
Jones.
had to chase that one down. Going to bat with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. It's going to be number 10, Brayson Johns. Brayson Johns, left-handed batter. He's got the only grand slam in this game. He took it right, pulled it down the right field line. So working from the stretch. Now the set. Alex Schumer, here's the pitch. Going to foul one back to the screen. 0-1 count to Brayson Johns. A runner at third base is Dawson Kane. One out. Bottom of the sixth. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch. Alex Schumer, now the set position. The 1-1 pitch. Going to pop one up. He'll take it to the outfield. Got a lot of air under it. It's going to be called for by the center fielder, Telenko. They're going to tag at third base. It's going to be an RBI, sacrifice fly, off the bat of Brayson Johns. Johns, if I didn't know better, he has at least 5 RBI now in this game. So 1 out, fly ball caught by Telenko in center field. So the bases are empty. Stepping into bat, number 22, Ryan Kellner. Designated hitter, batting in place of Kason Shanley, the center fielder. Here comes the pitch. High and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Ryan Kellner. Where's number 22? Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in a bit above the zone. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Wind is blowing out to left field now, according to the flag. Pitch comes in. They're going to call it a strike. Count goes 2-1. Just wanting to get a strike on the batter, make him swing the bat. Here comes the wind and the pitch, the 2-1. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the windup, here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Kellner, the batter. Nobody on base. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, he'll pop one up. Going to go back out of play, straight back. He'll stay in the box. The 3-2 count. Ryan Kellner. Working from the windup, Alex Schumer gets the signal. Out of the wind, here comes the payoff. Swung on, he'll foul this one straight back. 3-2 count once again to Kellner. He'll step back in. Working from the windup. Peering in, looking at signals. Alex Schumer. Out of the wind, here comes the pitch. He's going to drive one to left field. Got a lot of it, and it's going to be out of here. Kellner puts it out left field. Probably about 75 feet from the the fair pole. And Kellner got all of that one. That was a 3-2 pitch for the second time. So Ryan Kellner, the 4-hitter, lives up to a 4-hitter status. Comes in, touches all the bases. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out. Talk with his infield. So it's 17-15. It's a 2-run ball game. And Alex Schumer going to go to the dugout. And Coach Bourdonnais going to bring one in from the bullpen area. We're going to see a righty. Might be DJ Gilkey. We'll double check here. He's a tall young man jogging in. Going to get the baseball. And it is. It's DJ Gilkey. DJ Gilkey started this ball game at third base. Tatum Adriano is a third baseman at the moment. And DJ Gilkey going to get some warm-up tosses. DJ Gilkey on the season, he's thrown 4 complete innings. This is appearance number 4. He's not had a start this season. We'll mention he's faced 21 batters, thrown 97 pitches. He's got a win-loss ratio of 0-0. He's given up 2 hits. He's given up 4 runs. 2 of those runs were earned. He has walked 5 batters. He has struck out 6. One of them went down looking, and he's hit 2 batters along the way. So he's getting some warm-up tosses right there on the pitcher's rubber. Tatum Adriano just went into the dugout. We'll see what's going to happen at third base. Jonah Gerke is going to go to third base to play the position. Mikey Stapleton still at shortstop. Hudson Gutwein still at second base. And Lucas Gerke still at first base. So, Knights getting warmed up. There's 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Schumer just gave up a home run. Hey, did you have a man on base on that home run? There was one there. That 2-run homer last week? I think it's just a 1-run home run for Kellner. He got all of it. Inside pitch, took it out to the left field. I got to admit, Alex Schumer pitched well. He pitched well for a couple of innings. I think he struck out 4, maybe 5.
Now to bat, right.
And stepping into bat is number 8, Brady Martin. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here's the pitch from Gilkey, swinging a miss. I should say number 12 now at the plate. Now batting is Riker Woodema. Okay, thanks. Riker Woodema. I wondered when I was writing that down what that was going to be. Outside a ball. I called that a strike. Who? Woodema getting in that bat, and they not giving him all of his strikes. Count goes 0-2. Out of the set, DJ Gilkey. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, breaking pitch, and he'll go down swinging. And the Knights get out of the inning. So, after 6 complete, Knights 17, Bombers 15, 32 runs in this game when we've not played 7 yet. We'll mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Scott G. Scott G, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana Middle School and High School athletics. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. That's Fritz and Fishers, Fritz in Noblesville. They are celebrating 43 years in the car business in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. Late model cars and trucks, each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. 2 Hamilton County locations. That's Fishers, Indiana, 8599 East 116th Street. You can dial them up there at 317-842-2228. You can go to fritzandfishers.com or at their Noblesville State Road 32 location. That's between Noblesville and Westfield. You can dial them up there at 317-773-2232. That's fritzandfishers.com. FRITZ. So they're going to put the ball back in the glove of Dawson Kane. Stepping into bat for the Knights, number 14, Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke going to step in. Left-handed batter facing the righty, Dawson Kane. Pitch comes in. Breaking pitch outside of ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. On deck is Colton Minnick. Out of the set position, Dawson Kane, here's the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out of the set position, comes the pitch. Be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Dawson Kane gloves it, tosses it to Dalton Lynch, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. So Colton Minnick, we're going to see who's going to bat here. Minnick's going to bat. On deck is number 30, Gus Sandberg. So Colton Minnick going to step in, right-handed batter. Playing left field for the Knights. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back, 0-1 count to Minnick. So the sun is going down. 7:31 Central Time, 8:31 Eastern Time. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, back up the middle, gloves it. Dawson Kane, happy birthday, and gets the put out with Dalton Lynch. And there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning for the Knights. So number 30 is going to be Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg going to bat for the Knights.
Now to bat, number 30.
Sandberg going to step in and bat for Vince Talenko. Sandberg, finals, writing some information on the stenographer's pad, the home plate umpire. He's got double duty. So stepping in, Gus Sandberg, working from the stretch, is Dawson Kane. Out of the set, here's the pitch. I'm going to call that a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Sandberg didn't want to swing at that one. Count goes 0-1. Out of the set, Dawson Kane, there's the pitch. Going to foul one back to the screen, 0-2. Gus Sandberg, a .333 on-base percentage. He's got a single on the season. This is his 10th plate appearance on the season. He has 7 official at-bats. He's got 2 RBI. He scored a run, and he's walked twice. Peering in, looking at signals. Dawson Kane out of the set. The 0-2 pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Knights batting in the top of the 7th inning. Peering in, looking at signals. Dawson Kane. Here comes the pitch. Be a ground ball, third base. Fielded there by Brayson Johns. He'll throw across the diamond and get the put out with Dalton Lynch. So the Knights are retired in the 7th inning. They leave no one on base. Knights come up with no runs after 6.5. Knights 17. Bombers 15. And we'll again mention this game is in part being brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. They are family owned and operated since 1955. They have tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawnmowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. It's Reynolds. You can visit them at their Atlanta, Indiana location. It's right there on US 31, 1451 East, 276th Street, Atlanta, Indiana address. They're just 2 miles south of 296th Street. That's the Tifton-Hamilton County line. That's right there on US 31. They have 5 locations. To reach Reynolds Farm Equipment, simply dial 800-333-6947. Again, 800-333-6947. And if you want to reach their dealership right there on 31, the Atlanta, Indiana dealership, you can reach them by phone at 317-758-4116. Stepping into bat, number 1, Dylan Simmons. We're Working from the stretch. Now the set. DJ Gilkey. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, one strike. Right-handed batter facing the righty, DJ Gilkey. Here comes the pitch. Gonna foul one out of play right side. Actually, at the plate is 6-hitter number 9, Caden Webb. Caden Webb, shortstop. Good shortstop and good batter. Right-handed batter, fighting him off. No balls, 2 strikes. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging. There's 1 out. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 2-run ball game. Knights in front. 17-15. Stepping into bat number 2, Jackson Jones, the catcher. Here comes the pitch. Gonna foul one right side out of play. DJ Gilkey using that breaking pitch. Jackson Jones doing a good job fighting off the curveball. Peering in, looking at signals. DJ Gilkey out of the set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, foul ball, right side, out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Baseball replenishment needed. No balls, 2 strikes. The batter's box is Jackson Jones for the Bombers. On deck is Dalton Lynch. Steps back in, working from a stretch. Peering in, looking at signals. Now from the set position. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Gilkey. Swung on, swing and a miss. And a good clean right there by catcher, Ben Weeks. There are 2 outs. Stepping into bat, 8-hitter number 13, Dalton Lynch. Dalton Lynch, first baseman. Just step in, tap the plate. Working from the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Low and away, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Only 1 ball in the baseball game at the moment. It's in the glove of DJ Gilkey. Peering in, looking at signals. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. Out of the set, Gilkey. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Dalton Lynch, 1 ball, 1 strike. First baseman for the Bombers. Where's number 13? Out of the set, DJ Gilkey. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch inside and tight. Nearly got him. 2-1 count to Lynch. Sun is going down. Living on fumes with the sunlight at the moment. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. They get some baseball replenishment here. I think the umpire might have 3 in the pouch. 1 in the game. 3-1 count to Dalton Lynch. Out of the set, Gilkey. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Count goes full. 3-2 count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking for signals. Out of the set. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ground ball. Going to go back up the middle. It's going to be fielded by Mikey Stapleton. He'll throw it on the run. And he'll get the put out at first base with Lucas Gerke. And that's going to complete a high-scoring West Division Hoosier Conference game. They'll play again tomorrow. Final score for this one, Central Catholic 17. Rensselaer Central 15. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We do thank you for tuning in. And we thank Maddie, Sierra, and Hayden. Thank you, girls. You did a fine job. And we're going to bow out of here. And we'll mention, no matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let him go. Keep the fire burning.